Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today we have a story that is shocking beyond shocking. Right now in Korea is kimchi making season, and we call it kimjang. So the harvested cabbage from the summer planting or that received the summer sun makes it really juicier, and I believe has a higher sugar content within the leaves of the Napa cabbage. So this is the season to make it. And then also in tradition, Koreans were preparing for the winter months when they wouldn't have fresh produce. So you would make kimchi, and then the traditional way is that you bury it in the ground in those earthenware pots, and it's supposed to have some sort of symbiotic balance with the environment to create a great fermentation process. Well, today we are talking about some kimchi, but something else that was put into the kimchi container has drawn the shock of the Korean public, and it involves neglectful parents and a 15-month-old daughter that had mysteriously passed away. So we're going to get into that true crime story because they had to go to the actual arraignment hearing this week. Also, one of you in the comments mentioned, hey, what about the guys, like in terms of shaving? What would I recommend? And I don't really have a very, complex shaving process, but you do want the shaving cream itself to be, kind of nice. And one of my favorite fragrances from the, the old Victorian type of school in terms of scents is GOF Trumper, who was, I guess, some, famous barber, like where they actually use the blades to do the barbershop thing, and they still have a fragrance line and accessories line. And so this is the shaving cream that I think is the best if you're, gonna go beyond like, the stuff that you have like in a foam can. Also, remember the mask sale. I mean, I've been a little bit busy with the mask things, so sorry I haven't been on YouTube as much, but the holidays are coming, and so to make sure that the orders get fulfilled properly, I've been preparing. And a lot of you have been asking, where's the rose gold mask? Well, I've even met with the manufacturer. It's gonna take a while for them to get back onto the production process. And so right now you just want to nab the gold one or the white one to do, better than Botox and better than Retinol to really treat the under parts of your skin. Why? With two amazing wavelengths of LED red light. And if you do want something modern in a rose gold color, this is in the silver version, but this also comes in rose gold, and I'm going to offer that to you guys on our site. And of course, Seoulite TV viewers always get the best discount, so the coupon code Seoulite TV works. If you don't want your friends to have a better discount than you, then give them the other coupon code Beauty50. And so all of the products that are available are on the site, either ecofaceplatinum.com or soulite.tv. So all that coming up, so stay tuned. So this has been kind of a shocking case. So yes, you have heard of people storing their kimchi for years and being able to eat it. And that's usually if you have it under pristine conditions when you make it and pristine conditions in storage. That's why we have separate kimchi refrigerators, because it has to be at a perfect temperature, humidity type of regulation. Although sometimes in Korea, you might see people trying to do the old school thing and put kimchi containers, like the actual pots, on their roof or in their verandas. And in this case, it was not a traditional earthenware pot. If you go to Korean people's houses, you'll often see this rectangular maroon Tupperware that is sold very inexpensively all throughout Korea, and that's where people usually store their kimchi. So if you're like scanning a refrigerator and you had to guess where the kimchi was, it's usually going to be in this maroon box, and they come in different sizes. Some could be like this, some could be like really huge. Well, apparently in this really big one, there had been discovered for a total of 3 years, these neglectful parents had stored, not with kimchi, but in the kimchi box that's not even supposed to be outside. This is not the ones that you put outside. This is the ones that you put in your refrigerator or in your kimchi refrigerator. And there was the body of their 15-month-old infant, in there for 3 years on a rooftop at the house of the mother of the neglectful father. So this baby was born in October 2018. 15 months later, in 2020, she had mysteriously apparently passed away. And the parents did not report that the baby had died. The parents did not even take the baby to the hospital. They did not report it at all. They actually pretended that she was still alive. And what they had done was they had lived in Pyeongtaek, which is 80 kilometers south of Seoul. It's where the US Army base is, and it's like a extended suburb of Seoul, if you can sort of call it that. There are people who commute, but it's a very long commute. And that's where they had lived. That's where the baby had passed away. And when they were questioned recently, they said that she had just died in her sleep. And perhaps she suffocated, by rolling over. Well, it turns out they're still investigating, but there is a very strange large hole in the head of, the deceased infant's body. And investigators are looking into it because it's been such a long time in terms of body decomposition. They're trying to see whether that was a cause or whether that was just natural decomposition. So that's under investigation. Now, these two parents, 34-year-old woman surnamed Seo, her husband, now they're divorced, named Che, who's 29, so she was going for the younger ones. And they were booked last month on charges of abandoning the child, concealing the body of the child. And what they had also done that was a bit shocking was that they continued to receive child welfare payments for this period of time until they got caught. So they claim that, my daughter, it's been tough. My daughter's living with an extended relative over in Pocheon. And the reason why they got caught was that, sure, if you want to keep receiving these child benefits, apparently, the children have to go in for at least immunizations, and there's welfare checks and things like that. And they discovered that, where's your kid? Where is your kid? And they had collected about $6,000 over this 3-year period. So it's not a huge amount of money, but it is a monthly payment. And usually if you have a kid in Korea, there's all these sorts of programs where you can probably get a 100, 200, I think I've heard even as high as maybe $300 a month here and there in terms of some sort of child benefit. People are trying to encourage people to have babies. So they kept collecting it on their dead daughter, and then they got caught. Now the shocking thing is that they also had another kid before that also had died under the same excuse. They said that back in 2016, so this kid was born in December 2015. 100 days later, the infant ends up dead, and they actually did take this kid to the hospital, register it, say that, okay, like, when we just woke up, this kid was dead. Same excuse for the kid that, was found in the kimchi box. They said that, like, maybe they rolled over and they suffocated, and that's why, that's, it's so bad. And then the police did the investigation. They closed the case. They said that, okay, we believe them. It was probably like some sort of like suffocation accident, case closed. Now, what was the excuse that they gave for not reporting this a second case? They said like, well, we didn't report it because we thought that, we would be held under suspicion. A little bit shady. Doesn't really add up. Even if that were the case, maybe they were just like, oh gosh, the kid in the past, they passed away. We're a little worried. And reason why they might be worried is that the father had been in jail. Yeah, so I don't know why he went to jail, but apparently, so he's already, not on the right side of the law. And so maybe they would be paranoid of being accused of something, especially if they did do something. But why would you then go and start claiming the benefits? That looks even more shady. Now, apparently, the reason why they're also being accused of, at least, you gotta get people on like what is in the law. And so there are child abandonment and child abuse laws. Apparently, on 70 different occasions from August 2019 to early 2020, the mother just left the kid at home, neglected the kid, even a week before the kid had passed away mysteriously, was sick and was not being taken care of. Why did she leave 70 times? Well, she went to go visit her husband in jail. So she is being accused of being a horrible mother. But, and right now, like, all the media reports show like the mama doing the perp walk, but, where's the dad? Well, maybe the dad's already in jail, so he didn't have to go that far. And so they are being like looked at as like this, oh my God, this is a shocking case. Leaving a child alone that young 70 times, they're saying it makes no sense. Even when there was that whole debate of starting kids in mandatory school a year earlier, a lot of parents were like, my kid can't even go to the bathroom or eat properly at the age of 4. So how much punishment should these people get, do you think? Of course, it probably has to do with the law, and I don't know if there's a real specific law about putting your baby up in a kimchi box, but definitely, not registering when somebody passes away, that probably has some legal ramifications. But on the whole, I'm also predicting probably they're not going to get that big of a sentence because the laws on the books are not that probably stringent in these types of cases, unless they can prove that they willfully led their child to pass to a different dimension. But how are they going to prove that, especially with the case of the body in such a decomposed state? It is shocking that that's how it was found, but can they actually prove that these parents did something to their child to make them pass away? That hole might be a big case, but as I was saying, very prominent cases where just because you got a hole in your head, they cannot prove things. And maybe they're going to chalk it up. I mean, if it was Korean style, maybe, and also other country style, they're probably just going to say the baby, maybe it was a choice of the baby to go to a different dimension, and then chalk it up to that and say like, oh, nobody's a criminal here. But because the parents are probably not powerful, not in some sort of, privileged class, they're going to be made an example of in some case. But who would think about doing that? And they put it on a rooftop of a building where other people live. This is just gross and disgusting. So I don't know, it's just a little bit crazy. All right, guys, so shaving, if you want a good gift for the men in your life, try out GOF Trumper Eucris, and it is a shaving cream, but it started off as more of like a fragrance, a cologne, and so old school, you know, the cologne. I'll show you the cologne in a different video when we go into it more. It's one of the best colognes, like fragrances where, you know, there are a few fragrances where people, especially girls, are like, what cologne is that, you know? And every time I wear that cologne, the girls are like, what is this? What is this? And they actually go out and buy it. So, and here in Korea, so this is a classic, like, you know, Victorian English type of scent. Eucris comes from the classical Greek meaning of pleasing quality and elegant proportions. And it does smell elegant. It does smell old world. It has that woody floral musk. Top notes are blackcurrant, caraway, coriander. Middle notes are lily of the valley and jasmine. And base notes are oak moss, sandalwood, and musk. And so the actual shaving cream, though, also does really well in terms of capturing that fragrance and making, you know, a creamy lather. It's not like the big foam. So if you're, you know, if you're a fan of the foam thing, then this might not be for you. And the scent, I don't think really lingers on your face, which is why I usually don't like those types of like scented shaving creams. But yeah, if you just keep rubbing it in like as if it's lotion, I guess I didn't know this, but some guys actually, they just shave and they don't rinse. They just like, you know, keep rubbing, and then I guess they'll like pop off the aftershave and that's it. So I guess if you have to be like that, hey, this is not so bad as a cream. I would never do it, but if they have to do it, oh, and then the scent remains. Hey, this might not be a bad way to just even apply like a cream-based cologne. I like this. Okay. Hey, that might be a dual use for this. So definitely check this out. I highly recommend it. And it, you know, if you're the one, if you're the girl that's going to be smelling it, then, you know, you'll be happy, I think, with this as well. I think it's something that appeals to guys. It makes you feel like, you know, like a gentleman, and the girls feel like they're with a gentleman. So speaking of scents, I have been just a little bit too much of a fan of having scented candles these days. And, you know, when it's cold, you don't really open the windows as much. And then yesterday, I kind of got like this sinus pressure and pain. I think it was from too many scented candles. So I need to, like, you know, cut down on that, because I think it's actually not that good for you. And so I was like, oh, it's hurting. But then I knew this LED system has always helped my breathing. And so I really wanted to, you know, do the eye treatment. So this is the eye mask. This is the B1 eye care mask from the same makers of the Eco Face gold, white, rose gold, silver. And this one has the 48 LED lights that come up in the bottom. And so this also has a heating element on the eye. So I was like, okay, I need to, yes, take care of the, you know, wrinkles, collagen, crow's feet, dark circles. But then at the same time, I wanted to have a treatment that maybe would help alleviate the sinus pressure. And it did. And so it heated it up. It got me into like, it had the LED lights, and the LED lights have this like side effect of kind of like shrinking the vessels in your blood. And so this has been extremely effective. See, oh, here, that was the red. Well, I turned it off. And so now we can also have the gold edition and the pearl white edition for the LED mask. And if you want to know more about all of the benefits, just go to the website. It'll have the whole description. Coupon code Seoulite TV Beauty 50. She's talking right now, saying like, the care session has ended. All right, guys. So what do you think? It's a little bit crazy to put that in a kimchi box and treat your progeny that way. Put your comments below. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye, guys.